again, goal natin is to reduce sampling risk. My class, let's continue our discussion on audit sampling. So again, goal natin is to reduce sampling risk to an acceptably low level. So, na-discussan natin to. First way is to choose the appropriate sample selection method. So, di-discuss natin yung 8 methods. Now, punta naman tayo dito class sa sample size. Ilang items yung pipiliin natin as samples, right? So, in practice, again, madali lang yan, no? Meron tayong software na mag-guide sa atin. May mga tools tayo. So, sobrang dali lang yan implement in practice. So, we have many factors to consider to determine the sample size. So, ganito gagawin natin dyan, class. Okay, so hiwalay natin, ha? So, dito yung TOC. Okay, dito. Dito yung TOC. And then, dito yung substantive testing. Okay? And then, tingnan na lang natin, class, yung relationship to the sample size. Whether inverse or direct. Okay? Relationship to sample size. Yun lang yung importance dyan. Okay? This one. Now, we have 3 factors to consider. Number 1, for TOC muna tayo, class, we call this the acceptable sampling risk. Actually, yun din yung term na gagamitin natin for substantive testing. Acceptable sampling risk. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng acceptable sampling risk? Okay? So, yun yung risk na, okay, kung gaano yung acceptable level natin na iti-take for sampling risk. Ano ulit yung sampling risk? Na yung results ng sample natin is different from the population. Okay? Anong level? Okay? Anong acceptable level na willing tayo na i-accept yung sampling risk? Okay? Iyon yung acceptable sampling risk. So, para malinaw, class, isipin mo lang siya na para siyang acceptable level of detection risk. Okay? Di ba? Pag sabi mo acceptable level of detection risk, yun yung level na willing tayo i-accept, okay, na risk na magkamali si auditor, basically. So, yung acceptable sampling risk or ASR, meron siyang inverse relationship sa sample size. Okay? Parang ito, class. Ito lang tandaan mo dyan. Di ba? Pag mababa yung detection risk natin, mas mataas yung sample size natin. Tama? So, meron siyang inverse relationship. Ganun din yung acceptable sampling risk. Meron siyang inverse relationship sa sample size. Okay? Ito lang itandaan mo. Now, erase ko muna, ha? Next na i-consider natin, so this is number 1. Second consideration natin to determine the sample size is data natin. What you call the tolerable deviation rate. Tolerable deviation rate or TDR. Okay? TDR. Kanina tawag natin ASR. This one, tolerable deviation rate. Okay? So, from the word itself, tolerable. Ito yung number of deviations na willing tayo i-accept. Okay? For example, yung kaninang illustration natin, yung withdrawals, yung signatures or deposits. For example, class, yung TDR natin is up to 5%. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, 5% na itetest natin, kung mali yung signature ng deposit slip, acceptable pa rin sa atin. Tolerable pa rin sa atin. Okay? Pag beyond 5% na yun nangyari, beyond tolerable na yan. Ibig sabihin, mataas yung control risk. Nakuha mo yan? So again, pag tolerable, acceptable ang ibig sabihin yan. Yung equivalent naman yung class sa substantive testing is tolerable misstatement or you also call this tolerable error. Familiar ba yung tolerable misstatement or tolerable error? Di-discuss natin yan sa materiality. Okay? Up to this amount, pwede pa natin i-tolerate. For example, tolerable misstatement natin is up to 500,000. Pag may nakita tayong misstatement na hanggang 500,000, immaterial yun. Okay? Pag mas mataas na sa 500,000, material na yan. Nakuha mo yan? Alam niyo yan sa materiality discussion natin. Okay? So this one, class, is meron siyang inverse relationship to the sample size. So, habang mas may tino-tolerate tayo, okay, mas mababa yung sample size na pipiliin natin. Okay? So, inverse and inverse. Last factor na i-consider natin to determine the sample size is the expected population deviation rate. Okay? Yun yung tawag sa TOC. Sa substantive testing naman is the expected population misstatement or error. Okay? So, class, interchangeably ginagamit yung term na misstatement or error. Ha? Okay. Expected population deviation rate. Expected population misstatement or error. Actually, kasi ito, basically, based yan sa prior experience mo with a client. Okay? So, for example, previous years, marami ka nakikitang errors kay client, no? Well, mataas yung expected population deviation rate mo sa kanya. Pag previous years, marami ka nakikitang misstatement kay client, mataas yung expected population deviation rate. So, class, ang tanong ko sa inyo, what is its relationship to the sample size? Yung tingin mo dyan, direct or inverse? Pag mas marami kang ini-expect na deviation rates, okay? Deviation from internal control, syempre, mas marami ka ring itetest. Tama lang? Pag mas marami kang ini-expect na misstatement, mas gusto mo, mas marami kang itest. Okay? Therefore, this one has a direct relationship to your sample size. Tanda mo, ASR and TDR, inverse relationship. Okay? Expected population deviation rate, yan lang yung direct relationship. Okay? Ito lang yung kailangan mo tandaan dyan. Okay? Again, in practice, madali lang yan i-apply. Now, yun yung sample size. Let's go to the last one. Last way to reduce sampling risk is projection to the population. So kasi class, alam natin na sample lang yung tinetest natin. Tama? Ngayon, ipo-project natin yan sa population. I don't know if naalala niyo pa sa statistics yan, pero meron tayong ganyan. Okay, yung projection to the population. Nakalimutan ko na rin yung mga concepts yan sa stat, no? Pero I think yun yung may mga, di ko alam kung related yan sa mga hypothesis testing or whatever. Basta may mga ganyan yan. Anyway, so, it's very important din class na ma-project natin yan sa population. I'll give you an example para at least mas ma-appreciate nyo. Okay? First example natin is about TOC. Okay? Second example natin is about substantive testing. Okay? Ito yung mga given natin. For TOC, let's say yung population is 1,000 deposits. And then yung sample size natin is 100. Okay? And then, yung tinest natin na 100, meron tayong nakita na 30 na deviations. Improper yung signatures or let's say kulang yung signatures. And then, given sa atin yung ASR, okay? The acceptable sampling risk. ASR natin is 5%. Ayan. So, ang question dito, class, ano yung conclusion natin? Mataas ba yung control risk or bababa? Ganito gagawin natin dyan. Titignan mo, class, yung tolerable deviation rate. Ayan. So, for example, dalawa yung scenario natin. Case 1, yung TDR natin is 20%. Case 2 natin, TDR natin is 40%. Okay? Now, tama ba, class? If nasa within tolerable ka, okay ka pa. Ibig sabihin na mababa yung control risk mo. Pag tumaas ka na sa tolerable, doon na mataas yung control risk mo. Right? So, in this case, 30 out of 100 na tinest natin, meron deviation. So, ilan yun? 30 out of 100, 30%. Okay? 30% na yan, ang tawag natin diyang class is sample deviation rate or SDR. Okay? Yung na-compute natin na deviations, 30% or 30 out of 100. Mali yung signatures. Alright? After that, after mo computein yung SDR, i-add mo yung ASR. Okay? Kasi hanggang dyan yung acceptable sampling risk. Okay? So ito sample, add mo dyan yung ASR. Okay? So 30% plus 5% yung ASR natin, ang i-compare mo talaga sa TDR mo is the sum of your SDR or the sample deviation rate and ASR. Okay? So 35%. Case 1 tayo. So versus 35%, uy, sumobra siya ng TDR, sumobra sa tolerable. Okay? Ibig sabihin, class, in this case, itataas natin yung control risk. Alright? Therefore, bababa mo yung detection risk, meron siyang effect sa nature, time, and extent of your audit procedures. In this, sa case 2 naman, versus 35%, pasok siya within the tolerable deviation rate. Therefore, this one, mababa yung control risk natin, mataas yung detection risk, may effect siya sa nature, time, and extent of our substantive procedures. Class, huwag mo kalimutan na i-add yung ASR. Okay? Huwag mo kalimutan na i-add yan. Gets na sa TOC? Dito naman tayo substantive testing. Let's say, class, ito yung given sa atin. Meron tayong 1,000 withdrawals. Lagyan ko ng line. 1,000 withdrawals. Okay? And then, yung withdrawals na yan, amounting to lahat yan, 1 million. Okay, ang tinest natin, 100 samples. Yung amount nung 100 samples na yan is 50,000. Okay. Ngayon, may nakita tayong misstatements, no? Yung misstatements natin, okay, misstatements natin class dito is 10,000. Okay, so mali yung deposit liabilities. Nakita natin yung difference is 10,000. And then yung ASR natin is 50,000. Okay, so yung question dito, yung misstatement ba na compute natin na 10,000? Alright? Is it material or immaterial? Alright? So depende yung class. I-compare natin yan sa tolerable misstatement or tolerable error. So lagay ko na dito, tolerable misstatement. Case 1. Let's say yung tolerable natin is 100,000 pesos. Kasi substantive testing so amount dapat yan. Case 2. Okay, tolerable error natin or tolerable misstatement is 300,000. Okay. So yung nakuha nating class. Okay, ganito gagawin ko dyan. Meron tayong nakuhang misstatement na 10,000 from 100 na samples. Okay? So kung meron tayong 10,000, kung meron tayong 10,000, so dito ko i-solve. Ito lang, pagkasahin ko lang class nakakuha tayo ng 10,000 na misstatement, okay? Out of 50,000 amount na samples. Okay. So kung meron tayong 1 million na total na population, mako-compute natin dito is, actually, may calculator ako dito. Okay? So don't worry, sa board exam naman, well, mataas yung chance na walang computation. Okay? For appreciation lang to. Pero just in case maglabas si BOA ng computation sa audit theory, at least alam mo pa rin, di ba? And since combined naman yung audit prob and audit theory, malamang meron kang calculator while taking auditing. Okay? So compute natin. 10,000 divided by 50,000 times 1 million, you get 200,000. Alright? So yung na-compute natin class na misstatement is 200,000. Ayan. Don't forget na i-add mo yung ASR natin. Parang ang ginawa natin dito. 200 plus 50,000. Okay? 250,000 talaga yung i-compare mo sa tolerable misstatement. Okay? Now, 100,000 versus 250,000. Oy, mas mataas than your tolerable amount. Therefore, material yung nakuha natin ng error in this case. Alright? Kailangan ng adjustment. Proposed adjusting entry. 300,000 versus 250,000. In this case, pasok sa materiality level na 300,000. Therefore, immaterial yan. Hindi natin kailangan ng proposed adjusting entry. Okay. Yun yung example ng projection natin. Alright, so later, i-expound pa natin yung details ng projection. But before that, let's continue answering our handouts. Let's go to number 30. 30. In determining the sample size for a TOC, ito. An auditor should consider the likely rate of deviations, the allowable sampling risk or allowable risk of assessing control is too low, and so expected rate of deviation, allowable sampling risk, and tolerable deviation rate, letter A for number 30. Number 31, the deviation rate that the auditor will permit, okay, or yun yung tolerate niya in the population and still be willing to reduce the assessed level of control risk. Tolerable, deviation rate, letter A pa rin for number 31. TOC yung tanong, tama? Deviation rate Pag deviation, TOC yun. Number 32, the maximum amount of error in a population that the auditor is willing to accept. Take note, error. Ito yun. Maximum amount na willing siya i-accept, tolerable error, letter boy. The deviation rate, so dito tayo. The auditor expects to find in the population, expected population deviation rate, letter D. Okay, letter D. Number 34, how would increase in tolerable misstatement? Nasaan yan? Tolerable misstatement, inverse. Tama? Pag nag-increase, therefore, dapat i-decrease mo yung sample size. Tama? And then, assess level of control risk. Okay? O, iba, wala dito yung assess level of control risk. Pero alam natin, pag nag-increase yung assess level of control risk, bababa mo yung detection risk, itataas mo yung sample size. Tama? Okay, so, tolerable misstatement, answer mo dyan is decrease. Kasi inverse relationship. Doon naman sa assessed level of control risk, answer natin dito is increase. Taas control risk, baba detection risk, taas yung sample size. Got it? Letter C for number 34. Okay, erase ka na to para di ka mo dito. Number 35, which of the following results in a decrease in sample size? Okay? Acceptable sampling risk or ASR, inverse yan, tama? So, kung decrease to, dapat increase. Okay? So, increase yung number 1. Tolerable deviation rate, merong inverse relationship. Since decrease yung nakalagay, dapat increase. So, increase. Population deviation rate naman, direct relationship, decrease yung question dyan. So, that's decrease. So, increase, and decrease. Letter C for number 35. Which of the following sampling factors would influence the sample size for substantive test of details or substantive testing? Expected error, yes. Tolerable error, yes. Letter B, yes and yes. Okay, if all other factors specified in a sampling plan remain constant, changing the acceptable risk of assessing control risk too low, or yan yung ASR, from 5, actually yan yung acceptable risk of assessing control risk too low. Okay? Assessing control risk too low. Di ba example yan ng sampling risk? Tama? Ang tawag natin dyan, acceptable sampling risk. And yung acceptable sampling risk natin, meron siyang inverse relationship. So dito class, from 10 naging 5. Tama ba bumaba? So may inverse relationship ka, di tataas yung sample size. From 10 to 5, bumaba siya. Inverse relationship, tataas natin yung sample size. A yung sagot natin, increase. Number 38, if all other factors specified in the sampling plan remain constant, changing the tolerable deviation rate from 8 to 12. Pag TDR, merong inverse relationship. 8 to 12, ibig sabihin tumaas yung TDR natin. Dapat ibaba mo yung sample size. Letter C, decrease. Number 39, which of the following statements is correct concerning statistical sampling in TOC? The population size has little or no effect on determining sample size except for very small populations. That's correct. Okay? Yung population size, wala siyang effect sa sample size. Correct yan. Boy, the expected population deviation rate has little or no effect. False. Direct. As the population size doubles, the sample size should also double. No. False yan kasi wala silang relationship. Okay? Dog, for a given tolerable rate, a larger sample size should be selected as the expected population rate decreases. Pag expected population mo, nagdi-decrease, dapat mababa yung sample size mo kasi direct relationship yan. A for number 39. Number 40, last item. An auditor who uses statistical sampling for attributes and testing internal controls should increase the assessed level of control risk. Okay, when the letter C yan, sample occurrence rate or sample deviation rate plus the allowable sampling risk exceeds the tolerable rate. Ito. Pag mas mataas ka sa tolerable, itaas mo yung assessed level of control risk. Letter C for number 40. Okay? Number 40. Okay, naglagay rin ako ng identification. Again, baka ma-encounter mo yung mga terms na to, at least, kaya mo sagutan. Mabilis lang. Indicate the term matching the definition. Number 1, an estimate of frequency of events. Letter A yan. Susulat ko na pala para mas malinaw. Aha, dito ko na lang sulat. Dito na lang class para at least may space pa rin tayo. So, sulat ko Identification, number 1 is letter A. Okay, attribute sampling kasi frequency of events or frequency of yung deviations. Number 2, orderly approach to locating a particular event, discovery sampling yan. Okay, so 1 deviation, complete review tayo. So, for number 2 is letter C. Anticipated error rate, yan yung expected occurrence rate or expected population deviation rate. Letter E. Yan yung mga ibang terms na ginagamit. Gusto ko familiar ka rin dyan. Number 4, risk of underassessment. That is beta risk. Okay? Assessment natin is too low. Ano? Tawag natin dyan. Beta risk. Letter D. Number 5, maximum rate of error acceptable to the auditor. J yan, tolerable occurrence rate or tolerable deviation rate. Okay? Number 6, risk that the auditor's conclusion about the population will be incorrect. We know it's sampling risk, letter H. Number 7, a random selection method that involves choosing every nth item. Okay? Systematic sampling. Okay? May interval tayo. Letter I. Number 8, the calculated maximum error based on the results of the sampling. Actually, class, ito yan. Yung maximum error, ito yan. Pag in-add mo yung sample deviation rate, and allowable sampling risk, ito yung sinasabi dyan. Or, yung kanina, yung 250,000 for substantive testing. Ang term na ginagamit natin dyan, class, yung sum niyan is, o yung sum nito, yung 35% and the 250,000, letter K, okay, upper occurrence limit. Ayan. So, pag mas mataas ang upper occurrence limit, pag mas mataas yan, the tolerable, mataas control risk. Okay? Pag mababa naman, mababa yung control risk. Sa substantive testing, equivalent naman yan, yung ginawa natin kanina, 250,000. Number 9, risk of over-assessment, alpha risk. Over-assessment, mataas masyado yung control risk natin. Assess level of control risk, alpha risk. And number 10, range within the true answer most likely false. Precision yan, class, no? Precision. Ibig sabihin ng precision, pag nag-project tayo ng population, ng sample, pag nag-project tayo ng results ng sample to the population, gaano siya kalapit kapag i-test natin yung whole population. Ganun yung ibig sabihin ng precision. Siyempre, pag mas malapit yung dalawa, much better. Okay? Ibig sabihin, precise yung naging results ng sample natin. Okay? Number 10 is letter F. So, kasi nilagay ko to dito, just in case ma-encounter mo yung mga terms na yan in the board exam, easy pa rin sa'yo, kaya mo sagutan yan. Okay. Naglagay din ako ng calculation. So, kompleto yung discussion natin, class, no? Isipin mo, audit theory, pero meron kang computation dito. Madali lang naman yan. So, for the calculation, pwede ko nang erase to. Last one na to, class, no? This is still, pinakita ko sa inyo kayo yung projection. Isang form yan, isang way yan, okay? Especially yung substantive testing, ginawa ko computation dyan. Isang way yan to project, okay? Pero, actually, meron tayong 3 ways to project the results of the sample sa substantive testing, okay, to the population. Pwede ko na ba erase to? Yes, erase ko na yan. Erase. So, last one na to, class, and then done na tayo sa audit sampling. Okay, so, for projection, especially sa substantive testing, meron tayong 3 ways. Okay, number 1 is the mean per unit estimation or MPU, mean per unit estimation. Okay, number 2, ratio estimation. And number 3, difference estimation. Ayan, so gawin natin, i-apply na lang natin, class, para mas madali mo mag-gets. Okay? Let's go to calculation number 1. The 10,000 AR of a company have a total book value of 120,000. So, yung 10,000 yung population. So, lagay mo dyan, population. Pag sinabing book value, yan yung unaudited. Okay? 120,000. A CPA has selected and audited the sample of 100. So, out of 10,000, 100 lang yung sample. With a total book value of 1,000, audited value of 1,2. So, ganito nangyari dyan, class. Yung population is 10,000 AR or 10,000 customers. Okay? Yung book value ng population, 120,000. Okay? So, pag tinotal mo yung AR ng 10,000, 120,000 yan. Yung sample naman, class, is 100 customers lang. Okay? Or 100 AR. Yung book value of the AR na yan, ng 100 customers, is 1,000. Yung audited value, when you say book value kasi, yan yung unaudited. Okay? So, yung unaudited is 1,000. Yun, no? In-audit natin, audited value, 1,200. Ayan. So, yun yung given sa problem number 1. Question 1, using the difference estimation. Ito, difference estimation. The estimated audited value of the population is, okay, paano natin ipoproject sa population yan? Take note, class, di ba, ibig sabihin ng difference, ima-minus natin. O, ganito yan. Tingnan mo yung solution ko, ha? Question number 1, difference estimation, kukunin ko yung difference nung audited value ko and yung book value ko. Okay? So, 1,200 minus 1,000, i-divide ko yan dito sa 100 customers ko. Okay, so compute natin. 1,200 minus 1,000 divided by 100. Okay, nakuha ko dito is 2 pesos. Okay, 2 pesos per customer or per AR. Alright? So, tama ba class? Ang difference ng audited ko and unaudited, ito yung audited. And unaudited is 2 pesos per customer. Okay? If meron akong 2 pesos per customer, if meron akong 10,000 na customers, tama ba? Ito yung, meron akong 20,000. Tama ba class yung 20,000 yung difference? Does that make sense? Yun yung difference, tama? Ng audited and unaudited. Kung mas mataas yung audited ko kaysa sa unaudited. Tama lang? Kung ito yung unaudited, ang gagawin ko dyan, 120,000, okay? Ang kinocompute ko audited, di ba? Mas mataas yung audited. I-add ko lang dyan yung 120,000. Ito. So, makuha ko dito, 140,000. Ito yung audited ko. Letter C. Ulitin ko ha. Pag difference estimation, yung difference ng audited and unaudited, i-divide mo dun sa sample. So, nakuha natin 2 pesos per customer. Iyon yung difference ng audited and unaudited. Multiply natin sa buong population. Ibig sabihin, yung difference between audited and unaudited is 20,000. Kung ito yung unaudited, i-add ko yung 20, yun yung audited ko. Take note, in-add ko. Okay? Pwedeng minus yan. Pero in this case, add. Bakit, sir? Kasi mas malaki yung audited kaysa unaudited. Pag mas malaki yung unaudited kaysa audited, ma-minus mo naman to. Gets? Okay. So, question number 1 is letter C. Question number 2. Ano nakalagay dyan? Using the ratio estimation. Ganito naman yung class gagawin ko dyan, ha? Ratio estimation. Okay. Gagawin ko dyan, 1,200 yung audited ko over unaudited na 1,000. Tama ba? Ito yung ratio ng audited over unaudited. So, pag minultiply ko yan sa unaudited, okay? Kasi class, ganito yan eh. Yung 1,200 audited. Yan mo ha. Yung denominator mo, unaudited. Tapos, i-multiply mo siya sa unaudited. Tama ba class, cancel out yung unaudited niyan? Makukompute mo dyan is audited. Therefore, 1,200 divided by 1,000 times 120,000. Answer mo dito is 144,000. Letter D. Okay, dog. Ganyan lang kapag ratio estimation. Ratio ng audited over unaudited, multiply mo by 120,000. Unaudited, 144,000 yung sagot natin. Letter D. Question number 3. Using the mean per unit. Class, ano ibig sabihin ng mean? Ibig sabihin ng mean sa stat is average. Okay, average lang natin. So, gagawin ko dyan, 1,200, yung audited natin, okay, i-divide ko siya by 100. Okay, ang tinest natin is 100. So, ibig sabihin class, yung audited natin is, ilan to? 12 pesos, okay, per unit. Tama? Since meron tayong 10,000 customers, multiply mo lang yan by 10,000. 10,000 times 12, you have 120,000. Letter B. Okay, boy. So, question 1 is C. Question 2 is dog. Question 3 is boy. Actually, pinakamahirap lang computein dyan, yung difference estimation. Okay? Ayan, that's how you do it. Sige, last 3 items. Tignan ko lang kung talaga nag-gets nyo. Okay, erase natin to. So, malapit na class. Okay, using the mean per unit. Ito. Mean per unit estimation. An auditor has properly calculated the estimated total audited, 200. So, given na sa atin yung audited na 200,000. Her sample included 200 of the population's 40,000 items. She found that in her sample, the average audited value was 1 peso less than the average book value. What was the average audited value in the sample? Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Yung mean per unit natin kanina, 12, tama? So, gagawin ko dyan, mean per unit, yan ha, question number 2. Mean per unit times yung, ano yung minultiply natin? 10,000, di ba? Yung population. Therefore, multiply natin yung 40,000 dito, items, na-compute daw niya is 200,000. Yan yung audited value. Okay? So, pina-workback tayo. Ang given sa atin, ang pinapahanap sa atin, yung mean per unit, binigyan tayo ng audited value, which is 200. So, how much daw yung mean per unit? MPU natin, 200 over 40,000. Answer natin dito, class, is 5. Letter boy. Number 3. Using the difference estimation. Ito. An auditor has taken a sample of 200 from a population's 40,000 items. 200 yung sample, 40,000 yung population. Book value or the unaudited value is 200,000. She found that in her sample, the average audited value was 4.2, average book value 5.2. What is the estimated total audited value? Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Difference estimation, di ba? Difference ng audited, which is, ano yan, 4.2 minus 5.2. Yun yung difference nila. Multiply ko dun sa 40,000 items. Okay, ano yung difference? 4.2 minus 5.2 times 40,000. Negative 40,000. Okay, tama ba, class, yung 4.2 is my audited? And then my 5.2 is the unaudited. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas si unaudited kaysa kay audited. How much yung difference nila? 40,000. Alright? Therefore, if yung unaudited ko, or the book value, yung book value kasi yun yung unaudited, is 200,000. And sabi ko dito, mas malaki si book value, si unaudited, kaysa kay audited. Para makuha ko yung audited, ma-minus ko yung 40. 200 minus 40, you get 160, letter A. Kanina dito, in-add ko. Dito naman, minus. Because this one, mas malaki si unaudited kaysa kay audited. Okay. Last item, number 4. Using ratio estimation. Okay. An auditor has taken a sample of 200 from a population's 40,000 items. That population has a book value of 200. She found that in her sample, average audited value, paano ulit yung ratio estimation? Audited value, 4.2. Okay, di-divide ko lang yan sa ilan yung book value natin. 5.2. Okay, ito yung ratio ng audited and unaudited. Multiply ko sa unaudited, which is 200,000. Okay, 4.2 divided by 5.2 times 200,000, you get 161,538. 161,538. Answer natin for question number 4 is letter boy. 161,538. Okay. Ayan. So, class, yung audit sampling, I think yun yung pinaka-technical na sa buong audit theory. So, hopefully, nag-gets nyo siya, including the computation. Again, familiarity of terms. Yun lang siya. Usually, identification, definition of terms lang yung tanong dyan. So, okay. So, that's the end of our discussion for audit sampling.